Welcome to the Superluminal Podcast. I am your host, Max, and I'm here with my co-host, Luca. Hi, Luca.
Hey,
So, we've gathered here today to talk a bit about what we were gonna make, right? But let's start at the beginning, like any good story. How did we meet again? What was it again?
Phew. Well, it seems like ages ago already, but it was like the beginning of the end of the first year actually. Well, we are from HBO ICT, as you would say. But we were just, I was just strolling around, going home in the train with my classmates and my old classmates. And well, you were just sitting there playing on your Nintendo Switch when that thing was just very new.
Yeah, with one of your old classmates, Stijn, right?
Yeah, he was sitting next to you and he was like, "Oh hey,
It was
this
the
is my
It was E-Project, right?
yeah,
E-Project, I
yeah,
think,
yeah." Yeah, and he was sitting next to you, and he was like, "Van, hey, he lives in the good old Didam,
Mm.
and well, yeah, I grabbed my Switch out of the bag, and I was like, I'm gonna kick your ass in Mario Kart,
And
and
you
so I
did.
did.
Yeah, and you did. But
I did.
in some time, with learning your playstyle, I eventually kicked your ass. And until you put on the mirrored courses, then I just completely
Yeah,
screwed
they couldn't play from memory anymore.
up. Yeah.
Well, and then we went down a very big spiraling path where we just did a lot of things all at once. Well, we got in the same class, and well, then I roped you into a couple of my own hobbies. I gathered that you were very creative as a designer, and I thought, hey, I played Dungeons and Dragons maybe once already.
It was more
Okay.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, it was Pathfinder. I
You
played
played
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. Come on. But
Ooh,
you watched a YouTube series with Critical Role about
yeah,
and
that's a good show.
yeah, I put a bit too much of my time in that. And not as much as you. You've seen like more than 100 episodes. Back then, 100 episodes of 5 hours each. And
Yeah,
I've seen, I think, 20, and 20. Also 5 hours each. And I've seen 20 from the new season, which came after. But yeah, indeed, you came to me and you asked if I wanted to be in a small group playing Dungeons and Dragons. And a few of your friends, which I didn't know at the time, like Mitch and Marijn, and you said to me, just create a character, do your thing.
and that's the power of D&D.
And that's the
You
power
have
of
to
D&D,
you
creating a
have to roll
narrative
into
for
that.
your own character, which is quite fun. But back then, I made the usual narrative choices like hero, defeating this, running away from that. But now, if we go back for just a second to this time, back then we wrote, both of us wrote like 1 or 2 pages of backstory, I think.
Yeah, kind of. My first backstory was maybe half a page long or something, and now we have reached a point where, yeah, uh, yeah, the first one we did together, I wrote a backstory of, I don't know, what was it, 10 pages or something?
Yeah, and now if we look at the characters we're using now in a different campaign managed by you, I think my character has like 8 pages at least, and that's only the stuff I wrote down, not the stuff I talked with you about.
Yeah, and like we do role playing together, we just keep sparring with each other to make the best amount of stories and just get the excitement off our chests. And yeah, well, everything we do is we make stories. We're story writers. We just
Yeah.
became story writers.
Yeah, and the
And
problem is, most of the time a DM just shuts his mouth and just does his thing, and on the Moment Supreme you will know what he wants to do. But we, as hyped up bunch, keep telling each other our secrets of our campaign, which isn't a good thing, but it makes a lot of
Yeah,
fun because you can iterate on your plan and see if it doesn't fit with the narrative you're proposing. So, which is
yeah,
really
but
cool.
magically somehow you and I hope I do it with you as well. You keep surprising me. I
Yeah.
don't know. You keep saying me everything. You keep talking to me. You keep saying everything about it. You even told me one big thing about my character that was coming up, and in the story itself, in role-playing moment, I was still surprised. But yeah,
It's a lot of fun thinking of ways to surprise your players. But going back a bit from the D&D, because we've been talking for 4 minutes about D&D now, which we are
I,
doing a podcast, and it's really cool, and it talks a bit about narrative. But it's really fun to see how we came together because we are both from different backgrounds.
yeah.
I'm more of I've done a study before this one, um, interactive media design, which is completely different from coding and creating your own software, which we are studying now. But you came from what was school again?
The Luther College in Doetinchem. Yeah, compared to you, I am a little young boy.
Well,
Uh,
3 years isn't much. Come on.
yeah, okay, but I mean, yeah, 3 years isn't much. But if you compare what we've done already, you are on your second study. I literally came out of high school. High school. I came out of high school and I was thrown into the big bad world and. Yeah, one of the things that I was like, like thinking before I came there, will I make any friends or something, or will I just stick with the ones I did? But then you showed up and you are still here, so that's
Yeah,
something, right?
I'm like gum on your shoe, but I can no. Okay, I didn't know anyone because most of my friends were doing content media design, which is the minor we're kind of following right now in that style. But I didn't want to do the same thing over and over again. It seemed like the same thing at the time. But that's why I chose software development. And I didn't know anyone, but I made a few friends on the intro. And for some reason, we started playing Mario Kart together, and it's sprawled into a friendship. I still don't know how, because if you think about it, it isn't the best arc of a story, but
No.
it's really cool that we at least came together, and now we talk quite a bit. I think almost every day about
Yeah,
different
every
stuff,
day yeah,
characters, story ideas. Um, I'm working on a space campaign right now, which you are in again.
yeah, again, yeah. Yeah,
And
I mean, at first you came to me and you were like, "Hey, you want to play with?" And I was like, "Man, we already have like 4 campaigns we're playing in. I don't have infinite amount of times." But then you hyped me up, and now I'm a hacker. So it happens, huh?
yeah, it's different. It's really different. And the funny thing is, another thing you hyped me up. You you made me play, not made me, but you introduced me to the world of Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and such. You
Yep.
also introduced me to another phenomenon we're quite happy with, and we're quite fans of. You want to say it?
I don't know if I can do it, man.
Yeah,
I'll break out
well,
singing again.
yeah, we should start singing again. Yeah, Hamilton. We're both.
Yeah, that pool.
Um,
Yeah, I just stumbled across it one day, just on the internet. It was back when President Obama was still there. Uh, well, I just saw a little video and I was like, "Well, that's cool music." And then I just heard the whole thing and I was instantly in love. I already loved musicals a little bit. I went on a trip to England with school once, and we went to Mamma Mia, and it was very fun. And then I got it. I got the bug, the musical bug, Broadway. And well, when we became friends, we
yeah,
were
we did a
just
project together, right?
yeah, we did a project
Oz,
together.
I
Yes.
think was it Oz or was it Easy? Oz, I
No, it was
think.
Oz. It was before Isa.
Before Easy, yeah. And we started to do a project together, and we should have been working on code, But
Should have
a
been working
few
on
people were
both.
sick, I think. We were with the three of us, you, me, and someone else in that
Yeah.
room.
Oh, they
And
did all. Yeah.
you just put the animatic in front of me, which is for those who don't know, an animation of the musical, because you couldn't see the musical at the time. You can see now. But you put it in front of me and you said, let's start at the same time and I want to see your reaction. Okay, sure. I didn't mind because I'm quite a big fan of music. I really love music. And we started, and that's how the love for Hamilton became a thing. And it's not only the music, listening to the music, but listening to the way Lin-Manuel Miranda has written his text and lyrics. It's just mind-boggling. It's just
Yeah. I mean, how many
amazing.
times have we seen it now? Heard it and seen it all together? Maybe 8, 9 times in the film itself, in itself, maybe 3 times already.
Yeah,
And there are still things that I discover
yeah.
about motives and everything.
When we saw the movie, it was just
Yeah.
everything.
Fangirling isn't the right word because it was much worse than what we're doing.
When we saw other things they were doing and the way they introduced themselves and satisfied. Oh, God
Oh,
bloody
and
damn it!
the angelic voice of George Washington. Who would have known?
Who would have known? Christopher Jackson is just
Oh,
amazing.
Chris.
But yeah, now we're here, and
Yeah, we're here.
we want to create something together because we've been working together for quite some time, creating stories together, creating narratives together. But now we want to, I wouldn't say put it to the test, but it's more like trying some stuff out, trying to accomplish our dreams because I think, speaking for both of us, we always wanted to make a game, which is what we're gonna make. Spoiler alert. But yeah. So could you please tell them and me a bit about why you wanted to make such a game, or at least a game?
Well, I'm gonna go for the sappy
Oh no.
story of back when I was younger. No, I
I
played.
thought you would tell me something about Persona or something.
That's much later. Now, back when I was younger, I played a lot of games with my friends, and I remember a lot of vacations where we went together and I played Yu-Gi-Oh on the Nintendo DS with my friend. Um, but later on, I started playing more games with others, and I played more multiplayer games. But I thought that wasn't really my shtick, and well, after a little time, I found games, just narratively driven games like what you said, Persona or Nier Automata, or Fire Emblem even. There are a lot of games which they have such beautiful stories and narrative and art. And well, I always, as a storyteller, as we've already talked about, I want to make something that I can call my own, that I not just a story that's in my head that I visualize on my own and with my friends through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons, but also something that can be visualized and that we made ourselves, that we can be proud of and say like, here is a game, and just find out and just be surprised.
Yeah, I really like the sorts of games which don't give you all the plot in one go, because it's a lot of fun finding everything out for yourself.
Yeah, of
I think
course.
my love with narrative-driven games came from Assassin's Creed. I think it was
Ooh,
Brotherhood, or yeah, I think it was Brotherhood.
good game.
I used to play it on the couch,
Ooh.
which was really fun with my laptop next to my parents, and I would just be in awe about the ways they would surprise me about the story, about the Templars, the Knight Templars. But I think I don't say my love, I don't want to say my love for video games died a bit, but it's more like it subdued a little bit. I was a bit more fascinated about storytelling in the traditional mediums like movies and series, and books, of course. But then when I went to the Han and start meeting people who were crazy into video games, I was playing video games at the time, just mostly single player stuff, which is really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with this, but I what was it? where was it going with this? I was making a point. Give me a sec. I was making a point. Yeah.
Wow, this is new for you. Sarcasm.
Okay, I was making a point, but when you brought me into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, it's when I saw a bit more about that, I expected a bit more from video games from that time. I was watching more story from the games, not the art, direction, or such. The narrative was more important to me than the way they did it. At least the way they did it should be seamless, but if the story is good, I really love to play it. But you infected me with the gene to second guess everything about some stories and think about if the plot is right and it feels right. And that's why I really love playing Dungeons and Dragons with you and the group and other people, to create our stories and see everyone's perspective on how to create stories, which is really fun because we had quite a bit of discussions about how to create a perfect story, which is, you shouldn't do that with any of your friends because you all have your own process to create your own stuff. Like
the perfect story is a very hard thing to create.
Really hard. Yeah, it's really hard. And it's really fun. But I think to come back on the game stuff and what we want to create, we want to create a compelling narrative. Luca, please, we've talked a bit about the kind of narrative we want to create. Could you tell a little bit about what we wanted to create? Or at least to create now?
Yeah, we already talked about it because of course we did. I mean, we should have went to America to learn more about making games, but now we're staying here and actually making the damn thing.
#COVID.
We want to make a game where we just make a story where people can be sucked in, but also be fun. And we want to go for a 2D game, right? Pixelated.
We really want to do a 2D game because we are quite inspired by the roguelike genre. Which lends itself best to 2D. Okay.
Yeah, and it's the roguelikes and the roguelites. That's an interesting concept because, well, the fact that you can progress through the game by dying is something weird, and you can do and we think that narratively wise we could do so much with that. And well, yeah, but we are of course just little designers and programmers, and we're only with the two of us. But well, there's so much more to a game than just the story. I mean, we have to think about the art style. Do we want to go 8-bit or do we want to go in our favorite anime style? I mean, that would take a long time, but
you can't draw anime, right? Me neither.
I draw maps. I don't draw anime characters.
Me neither. They would look like stick figures.
It's also fun. But yeah, so we want with this game not only to out our creative urges to make another narrative, as we don't make that enough already. No. We want to make another narrative for in the form of a game that we can play through it ourselves and have the freedom, but also learn about how to make designs and how what does it mean to make the perfect music underneath it, because music is so important in a video game. I don't know if you've played a game once that was very action packed but the music glitched out. That's so weird. It's like you're just running.
Yeah, and you're getting drawn out of the immersion, like the game you're playing. The game doesn't need to look amazing because a 2D game can pull you in the same way as a AAA title. But if the music or sound stops for a bit, you will just fall out.
Yeah, I mean, look at the games like Undertale.
Yeah,
that soundtrack is amazing, and it keeps on giving, and it brings the intensity. But also, like games like Dead Cells or
Enter the Gungeon.
Enter the Gungeon.
It's really fun.
There are so many of them, and we just want to make one ourselves.
Yeah, and we've talked a bit about more. We've talked quite a bit about this. We want to, like we said before, we don't want to give the player the full plot in the beginning.
No, of
We
course not.
want to just seed it a bit around the levels. If you want to speedrun the game, be our guest. You will meet
Yeah.
some bosses, and you will defeat some bosses, and most certainly you will reach the end of the game without a problem. But if you are like us and you want to learn about every nook and cranny of every level, it's just a lot of fun, and that's why I would really like to have a cool art style as well, in combination with the music,
Yeah.
to give it a bit of yeah, to add to the music and add to the atmosphere, because we need to set up a cool atmosphere. Do we want to talk a bit about the type of game we want to make? It's more like a sci-fi type game we've talked about.
Yeah, yeah, with simulations and many brain tricks and everything. But yeah, just um, we we as coming back to Dungeons and Dragons. It's like
Yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons controls our lives.
yeah,
Um,
it seems like
we
it, but
yeah, we are so immersed in the medieval times, but the future is a very interesting thing because we don't actually know what's gonna happen, and we can do so many weird things like create weapons that just are very crazy, like sound wave cannons or
yeah,
drum pads, and
oh, and weapons which bounce off walls and
yeah,
such.
that I
It's
mean, yeah, in
it can be a
you
bit
have
wacky, because that's quite a bit of fun,
yeah,
creating it a bit wacky, but it still needs to be quite grounded that it's a sci-fi space. But we've talked about it's like a Ghost in the Machine story we were talking about,
yeah,
and a guy. It's just the basic narrative now because we haven't worked it out yet. But
let's go
a
Star
guy
Wars.
created a system. System is on the fritz. Another guy needs to fix it. He goes into the system like a simulation or something. We don't know for sure yet. And he completes a lot of stuff, dies a lot of times, we hope. And in some time, he will meet the ghost of the machine and see some bugs and errors, see the simulation cracking and such. It seems quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, you can create a lot of things from that. You can, I mean, you can create illusions on top of it that maybe in the beginning of the game you don't know yet that you're in a simulation and that you can
Yeah,
find out after. But also you can just start with that you are in the simulation, and you can go so many different ways with that there's so much you can do
yeah,
in a sci-fi story like this.
yeah. We first have the idea because we wanted to present it a bit. In the coming weeks, we will mostly work on it and think about it. And we've been talking about a bit about what we're gonna do, but we're both ICT students. Um,
Yes.
we don't know a lot about creating games yet. We know how to
Yes.
play games and create stories, but creating games is another thing. And like you've heard a bit before, Luca wants to work on the sound of the game. He wants to be the sound man, the sound director of the game, and I will be the art director. We will both work on art and sound, but we just wanted to get something to clasp our claws on and just make our own. And Luca, talk a bit
Yeah.
about what you wanted to make.
Yeah, I mean, as you've already told before I could interject,
Interject.
but objection.
Objection.
But no, but yeah, well, like we both want to do everything. I
Yeah.
mean, we're eager to learn, we're eager to do to grasp everything, but we have to have people of we have to have someone that can like make the decisions
The tough
if there's a
decisions. Yeah.
standstill, yeah, the tough decisions and everything, and if need be that we know what we do. So we just, I mean, hacked it up in like three parts. We have the programming part, the that for us is a lot less hard.
Scary. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
scary.
scary or hard.
We
So
haven't
we
worked
can
in
do that
C
both.
plus, C sharp. I don't know. Which one
Oh,
was it?
on my internship with
Oh,
Covadis, I've worked
oh yeah, you did, but
with
I
that.
haven't. that, but every coding language is just a dialect of another one, so it won't be
Yeah,
such a
I
bit
mean,
of a problem.
we literally learned in ASD how to learn a language within a few days. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very easy. But well, we can just grasp it and we can work on that together. But art and sound is something that we've never done before. And as you said, you were designing once and in another lifetime. But you're a designer and you make a lot of logos. I mean, look at this beautiful Superluminal logo.
Yeah, and this
Oh,
art, it's quite a bit of fun. It took me like an evening to create the animations. We we haven't seen the final product yet because I'm not done, but we've seen the intro and such.
yeah,
But
I've been
it's a lot of
fangirling all
fun.
night last night. Whew.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to create something, and I want to learn a bit more about creating art for games. Um, like Luca wants to learn quite a bit more about creating sound for games, and it seems like a good split because we can't say so you are in charge of programming. We're both programmers, so it I don't think that will be the biggest learning point for both of us. And we want to learn quite a bit because we didn't choose this minor to only do what we do best. We just
Yeah,
want
of
to
course.
learn and take it all in.
Yeah, and we just want to learn new things and just broaden our horizons. Um, and yes, for me, as like I've talked about before, the reason I wanted to do more sound is because, well, the music is so important, and I'm always fascinated with the soundtracks, and I talk a lot about soundtracks, actually. Um, and a game can make or break for me if the soundtrack isn't good enough.
Oh,
Because that's, like you said, it breaks immersion. But
yeah.
yeah,
If you
like
think about Hollow Knight, which
yeah,
is
Hollow
a
Knight.
perfect combination of art and sound,
Yeah, it's
because
simple, clean,
yeah,
but also gives off the creepy vibes that it has, and it has the tantalizing low hums in the darkness of the caves,
it
but
is
also the high
it's never
intensity.
silent, which is
Yeah,
just I really love
yeah.
that game. I've played it
Hollow,
like I think 18 times.
Hollow Knight's a good game.
I really
Very
love it.
good game.
Every time a new part came out, I played it again from start, and it's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, the
And
new one is coming out soon, actually.
yeah,
Uh,
and I really want to create. I've also played quite a bit of Enter the Gungeon, which is quite a fun game, and Risk of Rain 2. I don't know if you have played that one.
Risk of Rain, I haven't played. No.
Yeah, it's kind of a roguelite game. You need to progress further. You will get more characters and such, and get to the ending, know a bit more, which is quite a bit of fun. And that's why the art style is just. It seems a lot of fun to be. I don't want to say in charge of it, but make some hefty decisions. Of course, with my good friend Luca. But
Hey,
if we can't agree, I will just take the best
yeah,
decision for both of us, and we will create
yeah.
something really cool.
It
Yeah,
sometimes needs to happen. Yeah, we want to achieve a beautiful game that we can just be proud of in the end and say that we learned something and
hmm
that we can go to our friends and flex on them that we made a game that
yeah, and
uh,
it's something you want to do in the future, right? As well, right? You would
uh,
want to work on games, right?
well, that depends. I mean, I haven't fully committed to anything yet. I mean, I would love to work on games, but I mean, on my internship, I also loved working there, working on programs that were in machines and everything. But yeah, games just bring out a different side in me that I can just creatively explode and just do anything I want. Yeah, yeah, that's. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to do with you as well. I mean, you have so much experience in this
Yeah, but
in the
yeah,
design and everything.
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I've done quite a few things. I've done some design work. I've done some programming work. I've done some programming at an internship and such. But I haven't had a place to properly push out all of my creativity. And I think in games I may be able to do that. I don't want to work on AAA titles because I think that's kind of bland, maybe a bit of boring. I don't want to make anyone mad. But I like to create small stories, small narratives, creating a small piece that you can follow the story, and after that you will think, oh, I may have learned something from that, or I may feel better right now. And that's why I want to create a game, and I want to achieve something. Create a game which it doesn't need to be popular. Just people want to play it and like the story and like what I've done or what we've done this time, and create something really cool.
With microtransactions, of course.
Yeah, of course, DLC,
yeah, season passes. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, maybe even after this we will break through and become an indie company ourselves.
It's a lot of fun as well.
I see we're
we're 30
about
minutes
30 minutes in.
Yeah, we've talked about we just wanted to talk a bit, and we wanted to make the first one like 30 minutes because it's more of an introduction. This one is as well for the teachers as the other students. And we've talked about it, but I think we will create another podcast soon.
Yeah, I mean, we can we can write down our escapades over the weeks, but I mean, this is a fun wind down to just log what we've done, and I think it would be fun to just at the end or the beginning of a new week just talk about what we've done and just
or
create a little log.
Yeah, what went wrong, what did we learn, and it's not like we want to do this only for school. It's a lot of fun for ourselves to just wind down and talk about stuff we've learned because we're working remote now. Yeah, because of the virus, we are working remotely, and soon we may sit down together a few times just to get the creative juices flowing, but we will work mostly remotely, and it seems a lot of fun to just talk about something, just talk about how it went, and just reminisce on all the memories we've made from the last week. And I don't know what date we're gonna set, and if this is even gonna be fun to watch, because we've never made a podcast before.
We'll hear it eventually. I mean, I liked just talking for half an hour about reminiscing of the past and what we're gonna do now. So I mean, even if they don't find it fun, we can just still do it.
Yeah. And we will also not only talk about school stuff, we will also talk about a bit of fun for ourselves. Like 10 minutes a bit of fun and 20 minutes about what we've done. But it doesn't need to be business-like, it's just fun between us. Which is...
looking forward to it. Very much.
Thank you all for listening to our podcast. The first one of the Superluminal Podcast, which is... our working name. For people who don't know what it stands for, I'm just gonna say it. It's the other word for faster than light travel, superluminal travel and such. That's the fun thing about it. And we want to thank you for listening. I was your host this time with my co-host Luca, and we'll see you.
See you later.
See you next time. Bye bye.
You.